since these are written side by side, it's asking us to do the matrix multiplication. So what we're going to do is check dimensions. This first one is a 2 by 3. It says 2 rows and 3 columns. This one has 3 rows and 1 column. So can I multiply these together? Well, the number of columns equals the number of rows, so that matches up, and so the result is going to be a 2 by 1 matrix. Okay, now we're actually going to find it, because all we've done so far is just practicing, can I do it? Now let's actually do it. So let me show you how to do this. Okay, what I like to do is to I'm going to go ahead and erase the dimensions, but I know it's going to be a 2 by 1. But what I like to do is kind of give myself a little blank sheet, if that makes sense. Because we just found out it's got to be something that has, and this matrix has got to have 2 rows, and it's just going to have 1 column. So basically all I'm finding is 2 numbers by the time I multiply these together. So let me show you how you do it. Okay, just go to this first position right here. Go to one of your positions and let's talk about where it is. This number that's going to be planted right here, do you see how it's listed in the first row and it's listed in the first column? And that tells you what to multiply together. We're going to multiply the first row and the first column to get my answer right there. So let's watch this out. This is how you're going to find the number. It's going to be 3 times 4, so first to first, plus the second to second, plus 1 times 1, plus 2 times -2. So as I'm multiplying the first row to the first column, I'm going first to first, middle to middle, last to last. So when I go throughout this, you're going to get 12 plus 1 minus 4. Okay, so 12 plus 1 is 13, minus 4 is 9. So the only number that's going in there out of all of that is just 9. Okay, so I know this is going to be confusing. We're going to get a lot of practice, but we're going to try this again. Let's go to the next number that we have going here. This next number is in now the second row, but first column. Okay, so I'm going to take all of the second row and I'm going to multiply it by this first column and see what we get. So I'm going to go -1 times 4 plus 2 times 1 plus 4 times -2. Okay, so I have -4 plus 2 minus 8. So a -2 minus 8 is a -10. And there's my answer. When I multiply this 2 by 3 and this 3 by 1 together, my resulting matrix has just 2 rows, 1 column, and specifically has the elements 9 and -10 in it. And that's just it. Okay, so let's practice this again with the next example, number 10. And with this example, I would literally just do the step-by-steps exactly how I'm doing it. First and foremost, check your dimensions. You're doing a 2 by 2 with here, 2 rows, 2 columns, and here, 2 rows and 3 columns. The number of columns in the first one matches up with the number of rows in the second. So the resulting dimensions is going to be a matrix that's 2 by 3. Okay, so let's give ourselves a little blank right here. It's going to have 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so here's my 2 rows. Here's my total of 1, 2, and 3 columns. So row 1, row 2, and 3 columns. So all in all, it looks like I'm looking for 6 numbers total. Let's see if we can go about getting those 6 numbers. Okay, so follow me through this. I'm going to go to this very first position. This number right here is coming, it's listed in the first row, first column. So I'm going to be multiplying the first row times the first column. Okay, I'm matching up first to first. So 1 times 1 plus 3 times 3. So 1 plus 9 is 10. So the number that's going in there is 10. Okay, let me just change it up so we can add some variety to this. Let's say I want to go to this guy right here. Oops, I erased it, but here, he is sitting here in the second row, second column. I'm going to multiply the second row to the second column. Okay, so -1 times 3 plus 2 times 0. Going the first to the first and the second to the second. When I do this, I get -3 plus 0, which is -3. So that's where that one's going. Okay. Let's change it up just a little bit more, see if we can get this all figured out. Let's go back and let's say maybe we're going to do this one right here. Okay, so that number, this element's coming specifically in the first row, third column. So first row, third column. All right, that's going to be 1 times 0 plus 3 times 2. Well, 1 times 0 is 0, 3 times 2 is 6. So the number that's going there is 6. Okay, so why don't you pause this and let's see if you can go back in and actually change up and figure out the last 3 numbers. Okay, so let me help you out with this next one that we're going to be doing. Let me kind of, let's say we want to go, I mean, it doesn't really matter what order. Let's say we're going to come back and fill in this last bit of this first column. Okay, so this position right here, this guy is sitting here in the second row of this answer matrix, coming in the first column. So it's going to be the second row matching up with the first column. Okay, let's see if we can get the rest of these. We'll hope you got the 3, the 5, and the 4. And again, just checking this out. What this last one over here in the looks like second row, second column came from this second row and this second column. So -1 times 0 is 0, and 2 times 2 is 4. So that's how we got that one. All right, let's practice this though. This one more time. Let's look at example number 11. Check the dimensions, always first and foremost. So it looks like we have 2 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and we have 3 columns. Well, the number of columns matches up with the number of rows. So my answer is going to have 2 rows and 3 columns. So it looks like we're getting about the same dimensions as the one above. No correlation whatsoever, but at least we're looking for 6 numbers total. Okay, so let's go through here and let's see how we're going to get this. I'm going to just start in the top left position. So this is sitting here in the first row, first column. So I'm going to go all of this first row here. I'm going to multiply it by all of the first column. Okay? So writing that out, it's going to be 3 times 2 plus 0 times -1 plus a -2 times 0 plus 1 times -1. Okay, so 6 plus 0 plus 0 minus 1 gives me an overall answer of 5. Okay, let's just keep filling out the rest of the first row. So this next one right here is first row, second column. So I'm going to erase this and we're going to move on to second column. So we're going to get a 3 times 1 plus 0 times 2 plus a -2 times 0 and then a 1 times -2. So 3 plus 0 plus 0 minus 2 gives us an overall answer of 1. All right, so let's go to the very, very last position over here. Looks like it's still first row, now third column. So instead of this second column, we're going to now be highlighting the third column. All right, so 3 times -1 plus 0 times 0 plus -2 times 1 and 1 times 2. All right, so -3 plus 0 minus 2 plus 2. Well, the -2 plus 2's cancel and we just get -3. All right, so now we've finished off everything that has to do with the first row, column 1, 2, and 3. So what we're going to do now to get that last row is we're going to focus every single time. We're going to be multiplying this bottom row and then going through it. First time, first column, then second column, and third column. So let's pause this and see if we get this exact same answer. And then just filling this in as we come back. Looks like it's going to be a 1, 7, -3. I mean, granted, you know, there could be human error in here. I could be wrong on any one of these. I think I double checked, but just in case, you just know there is an opportunity that I could be wrong on any one of these. But again, they're all just coming from going the second row, all those positions are, second row, and then first, second, and third columns. Okay, and you just kind of match up 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3 as you go throughout it.